Hi, welcome to my weekly update. So we had a full moon a couple days ago, which is always fun for me. I have an insane increase in both parasite and Lyme disease symptoms. That can look like a lot of different things. For me, it's neuropathy and pain in my feet. Like even now as I'm filming this, my feet are killing me. Twitching, cognitive and memory issues, insomnia, anxiety, and I also seem to have this problem with my bladder where it won't fully empty the first time. So I go back and forth from the bathroom quite a bit. You know, I think the scariest part about everything I just said was the cognitive and memory issues. I lost my father in 2020 to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, so I'm really kind of looking at this and taking this pretty seriously. I'm starting to learn about early Alzheimer's and just some of what I can do to help prevent me from going that direction. I'm also starting to learn about MS. I just want to make sure that I have some information under my belt so that I can keep this healing process, going straight up. Rapid parasite release. That is hands down the most effective parasite protocol I've ever seen in my life. I'm still having an insane amount of die-off, which makes it extremely challenging, but it's progress that is going to reap amazing results. I think this past week has been a week of breakthroughs for me. So one of these breakthroughs was with the parasite release. It feels like I've been on a rocket ship going through a thunderstorm, and then I finally peeked through and I could see clear sky. Still got a lot of storm above and probably some on the horizon. I'm definitely not out of the woods yet, but I'm starting to see aspects of my personality return that I haven't seen in nearly 20 years. It's funny. I've learned in this program that your true temperament can't shine when you are infested with parasites, and that is 110% the truth. It's funny to me how much the parasites were running the show in the background. The way that it shaped my behavior, in particular around socializing, leaving the house and going into high stimuli areas like grocery stores, Walmart, Target, that kind of stuff. Social media communication, the bing, 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 that just that was enough to set off just alarm bells. I get a pang in my stomach, pain, panic attacks, anxiety, and that's starting to lift. It's due to that reactivity is why I've become so isolated, and I've been trying to decrease external stimuli. But I don't really need to do that as much anymore. I still have a ton of die-off, don't get me wrong. I have histamine issues, but we're making serious progress. My gut inflammation has gone down some. I don't look as pregnant anymore. I always had this big distended gut. I'm in less GI pain. My motility and digestion has improved. Like, I'm making real progress, and I'm so very grateful for that. I think one of the important things to remember is when you're going through like a parasite protocol is that you focus a lot on detox. You got to get the garbage out of you. And, to do that, I've been doing castor oil packs, coffee enemas, drinking a lot of clean distilled water, moving and when I can and when I feel up to it. But then I saw this video from Dr. Isaac Elias last week. And he was talking about the importance of embracing acceptance and forgiveness in your detox protocol. And that was the first time I'd heard it explained like that stuck emotions, they keep toxic stuff stuck in you. And it just made so much sense to me. So I've really, really embraced that. And the meditation that came with that video was an enormous help and really set me in the right direction. All right, so can't wait. I know I already talked about this product from Integrative Peptides, but I needed to add it to the board, so I figured I would talk about the progress with this now. So I have finally reached my goal weight of 140, and I honestly didn't think I would get to that point until I got down here to the fasting mimicking diet, but I love being wrong. So everything with that's going well. This peptide, it helps you feel full after smaller meals, and it also just kind of suppresses your appetite, and it really is working. So very happy with that product. Every now and then I'll see or hear something or watch something, and it'll hit me at just the right time, and it'll change kind of everything. It'll change the trajectory of everything. And that recently happened with a series called Rewired with Joe Dispenza on Gaia. I binge-watched that whole thing over a 2-day period, and I'm now in the process of watching it again. What I learned is having such a profound impact on my healing journey, and it's come to me at just the right time. I feel like I'm at a very pivotal point in my life. I'm awake from brain damage. I'm healing from some very serious conditions. I'm waking back up. I'm trying to relaunch both my life and a career. But I had built this system of beliefs around chronic illness and being chronically ill and the awful things that had happened to me or been done to me. Even if it wasn't even a conscious thing, they were playing in the background because I'd had so many awful things happen to me for such a long time. Those belief systems are no longer serving me, and it's definitely time to move on from that and go on to greener pastures. This series is helping me to recognize and then change my fear-based sick person behavior patterns back to the productive person that I know myself to be. You know, I've started meditating daily, which he suggests, and I've actually been meditating with him on Gaia. I've done day 3 today. It's been an awesome help. I can tell with the way that his meditation goes, it's you close your eyes and you sense the space around you, but I can still feel that I have a little bit of temporal lobe damage because I still kind of struggle, I feel, to get all the way to that point. It's kind of hard to explain. We'll see what happens when I do my next peptide round for traumatic brain injury. Like I said, it's been a week of breakthroughs. And I had another one concerning my complex PTSD. I have crippling complex PTSD from my time in the medical system, the misdiagnosis, the over-medication, just the awful relationships. And, you know, I've been stuck in an awful trauma loop since my last relationship with my previous doctor and therapist. It's been horrendous, you know, going to doctor's appointments, talking to anyone that my brain sees as a medical professional when I'm coming to them as the professional and getting advice. I put walls up. I don't even realize I'm doing it. It's awful. It really is. You know, and I had a breakthrough, and I owe it to psilocybin. I have been microdosing psilocybin now for a really long time. It helps with Lyme disease symptoms, traumatic brain injury, processing trauma. It also seems to help with bridging gaps, which helps with trauma. And the way that I got this breakthrough wasn't by taking my normal dose. I accidentally took too much. I thought that I needed to adjust my microdose. I thought I needed to go up a little bit. I don't know if I didn't weigh it out right or what, but I took too much. And while that was extremely uncomfortable, it was apparently exactly what I needed, because it was suddenly like, again, it's like rocket ship through a thunderstorm. You finally reach clear sky and you can see. It really does feel like the storm clouds are starting to disperse. I feel like I'm getting to a point where I can learn to trust again, reopen my heart, and not just do the gratitude practices that I do every day, but feel that gratitude in your heart. So I'm extremely grateful for psilocybin. I think the last thing I want to share this week is nicotine. So I've always loved nicotine. I've started taking a product, Knick Knack Naturals. It's clean nicotine. It comes, these cases, I love that. They come in plant-based plastic, so I don't have to feel guilty throwing it away. And it kind of gives you that cognitive edge, that little bit of dopamine, helps you focus, get things done, which is fantastic when you are navigating the fog of chronic illness and treatment for that illness. All right, I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Bye.